Hey everyone, today I want to talk to you a little bit about digital file storage. Specifically, if you are a working artist and you're taking lots of photos or you have a lot of digital files, how do you store them on your computer and how do you organize them? And why is this so important to not just anybody but also specifically to artists? Why do we focus on that? So today I'm going to show you why we do this, and then I'm going to talk about how to do this. So here's a great example of file management working for me. I have a lot of shapes and I put them all in one big file called All My Shapes. And then if I'm looking for individual, if I open up that file and I want those individual shapes, I can find them quickly and easily. Oh, I forgot to put some in my file. This is so much better than what happens is if you keep making file after file after file and you don't bother putting them in some kind of organization system, you're going to open up your computer and go to where you're looking for them, and you're going to be like, okay, where was that file that I was looking for? Whereas the first method that I just showed you just makes it so much easier to find what it is you're looking for. And if you think about it, if you're in photography and you're shooting, a shooting assignment with like 200 images, it's a lot more than this, and that would take you a lot of time and wasted energy. And in graphic design, you'd be surprised how many files you'll end up creating. This just makes life easier for you. So that's the why. Let's talk about the how now. We're actually going to be using Google Drive. And the way this is going to work is before you get started, anytime you come to our class, actually the first thing you should do every single day is log in to the computer and then log into GAPS. How do you do that? Well, y'all know what GAPS is. If you're a student in District 214, you would go to the site and log in. Please be aware this is very different from your personal Gmail account. If you have one, it has to be the school Gmail account. And the reason why is because once you've logged in, you've already bookmarked the site. So you're going to go to the site and go to the calendar, just like I showed you before. If you go right to the site, it'll take you to this calendar. So when you go to the website, you're going to look for, and I will always have it at the top left-hand corner, no matter what week, what month, look for this link that says Google Drive folder. So we're going to click on the link, and then once you get there, step 3, you're going to see that there are 2 classes listed. And obviously, if you're in the first period class, you click on the first period link and go to that folder. And if you're in 8th period, go to 8th period. So let's say I'm going to go to first period, and there are no folders here right now. So everybody's going to do this. You're all going to create your own folder that's going to be a subfolder of the first period. So to do this, you go over to where the little plus sign is, click on that, and the top option, it's going to ask if you want to create a new folder. As you can see, there are other options. We will discuss these later. But yes, I want to create a new folder, and you're going to give this folder your name. Now, when you create this folder, you should see it pop up almost automatically over here. And under owner, if you're looking at it in a list view, let me show you something. This is cool. So this is one way of looking at it. This is like looking at it like a folder like that. But if you want to see the list view, over in the right-hand corner where you see there's 3 dots, and there's 3 lines going across. If you click on this, now you're in list view as opposed to thumbnail view or grid view. And you should see a folder that has your name, and the owner should say me, because you're the one who created it. And you'll see other people's folders pop up as you do this, and it'll tell you when you last modified it. Okay, so let's say you do this. There are probably going to be about 20 folders here in a few minutes, but what I'm going to do now is go to my folder, and let's go back to the calendar just for a second. You can see that I'm going to ask that once you have created a folder with your name on it, you're going to create, a subfolder, and each subfolder is going to be called something specific. I'm going to walk you through. One's going to be called Illustrator Basics, one Portfolio, one Line Exercises. And we'll be adding more folders as we work on these, and I'll be explaining what these folders are for later. But let's just go back to the folder for a second. So I'm going to click on the tab that has my folders. Okay. And I'm going to make sure I'm in my folder. So the last thing you should see up here, if you're looking at it this way, is you should see, it should say your name. So in this case, it says my name. So I'm in my folder, okay? So new folder, and we call this portfolio, create, and there it is. I'm gonna make a new folder, which it's not gonna be inside the portfolio folder, it's gonna be next to it so I can see it next to the other one. I'm gonna call this one Illustrator Basics. Oh, and if you're like, well, how do I rename something? If you just double click on it, I get that now you're inside the folder, but if I click here on the folder itself, I can hit rename at the top. So for some reason I accidentally didn't get that correct, I can just hit rename. And I'm gonna call this one Illustrator Basics. Okay. Okay. And I'm inside Illustrator Basics. That's why I can't see the portfolio folder. So if I click back on my folder with my name on it, see, there it is. Because it's like once I'm in this folder, I can't see this one anymore. And I have one more folder. And I believe I asked you to call that one Line Exercises. Now let's say you do this and you accidentally make a fourth folder, or you make a folder. I'm going to call this one Oops. I made a, whoops. Okay. Let's say I make a folder, or I put something somewhere and it's in the wrong place. Okay, well, first of all, you can always delete something, although once you delete it, it's gone. So be careful about that. But let's say I've taken this folder, I made the mistake, and I just hit the garbage can over here and it's gone. Something else that sometimes happens, common problems, is you might accidentally put this folder, for example, in here. Okay, so it says okay. So now if I go to Illustrator Basics, that's now in there. I don't want it to be there. I'd like it to be back where it was. So let me show you how easy it is to move. If I take Line Exercises and put it back underneath Rebecca Silver instead, and then go back to that folder, you see? Now it's back there. So little crazy stuff to think about, but that is how you get started, and that's what we're going to work on right now. It's just creating 3 folders, Line Exercises, Illustrator Basics, Portfolio, that are under a folder with their name, that are located in the first period folder of the graphic design. And to get there again, you need to click on the link up here.